Okay, madam.
So good morning everyone. Today let us start Unit 5 of Web Technologies, Parallel Programming. So what is Unit 5 of Web Technologies? Unit 5, Programming with Parallel. So till now we have seen many programming languages like C programming, C++, Java, Python, and you have known some other programming languages also like HTML, JavaScript. Now this Parallel is also a kind of programming language. About the Parallel we are going to discuss in Unit 5. So we have started Web Technologies with an intention of designing static web pages. For that we have used HTML and CSS. Then we need to validate that static web pages. For that we are using JavaScript. Obviously if you want to add beauty to that static web pages, you are using CSS, cascading style sheets. So you know before that only, before HTML only, you know C programming, Java, C++, Python, and you know R programming also. So likewise, now the intention is to create the dynamic web pages. So for the purpose of creating dynamic web pages, we have learned what is PHP also, right? For validating PHP pages and for validating PHP forms, we know what is XML, XSLT, and what is XML also. So till now we have learned everything, starting from C programming, C++, Java, Python, R programming, and for static pages HTML, JavaScript, and for dynamic pages PHP, for dynamic pages only XML. So many programming languages you have learned till now from the beginning of your BTech. So what is the common point I wanted to tell you is, so our Unit 5 is programming with Parallel. So Parallel is also a kind of programming language where we will have the same concepts, means variables in parallels, constants in parallels, data types in parallel, different types of data types in parallel, constant in parallel, variables in parallel, functions in parallel language, arrays in parallel language. So everything again we'll repeat. What are the data types here? What are the constants here? What are the variables here? What are the functions we have in this? What are the arrays we have in this? What are the operators we have in this? So these are the similar topics in every programming language. If you take C programming, or if you take Java programming, or if you take the XML or HTML, concept of variables, constants, data types, operators, functions, arrays are repeated concepts in every programming language. So let us see first what is a parallel language. Practical extraction and report language is nothing but parallel. Practical extraction and reporting language is nothing but a parallel. So practical extraction and report language is nothing but the parallel, full form of parallel. So parallel is also a high level language. Parallel is also a general purpose language. Parallel is also a interpreted language, and Parallel is used for dynamic programming, and this language is developed, designed for especially text processing by Larry Wall. So who invented this parallel programming? Larry Wall. He is the person who invented the parallel programming. So what actually a parallel programming is used for? It is used for text processing. So what kind of language it is? It is a high level language, it is a general purpose language, it is an interpreted language, it is a dynamic programming language also. So practical extraction and report language, which is used for text processing and which is used for dynamical programming, which is mainly used for dynamical programming. So let us see, what do you mean by parallel language elements? So what do you mean by parallel language elements? Generally we have elements concept. So in the parallel programming, what are the elements? As I already told you, variables, constants, data types, operators, control structures, arrays and functions. All these are very common in any programming language, and these are called as elements in parallel language. So variables, constants, data types, operators, control structures, arrays, functions. These are called as variables, constants, data types, operators, control structures, arrays, functions. So we have 7 elements in parallel programming. So these are only the topics of Unit 5 obviously. When Unit 5 is about parallel programming and the parallel elements are variables, constants, data types, operators, control structures, arrays and functions, that is only the syllabus of Unit 5. So let us see one by one. First, what is a variable? So same concept. Whatever we have discussed in HTML, whatever we have discussed in XML, same. Whatever we have discussed in PHP. So same definitions, same examples, same concept. Variable is used to store some data and that data can be changed. Variable is used to store some data. So variable is used to store some data. That value of data can be changed at any time. So whenever you are executing or before execution or before running, so variable is a container in that you can store some value and that value can be changed by time to time. So what are the rules we have in parallel programming to declare a variable? What are the naming rules we have? What are the rules we have in parallel programming to create a variable? So variable name must start with a letter or underscore. Variable name can contain only alphanumeric characters. Variable name should not have spaces. Variable name should not start with the digits. We have 2 types of variables here. Scalar variable. So scalar variable means variable which is going to hold the single value. So naming rules. To declare a variable we have some naming rules. What are the naming rules in declaring the variables in parallel? The variable should start with a letter or underscore. Variable name should contain only alphanumeric characters. Variable should not have spaces. Variable should not start with digits. So variables are of different types. In that first type is scalar variable. Scalar variable example is this one, which can hold only one scalar value. Let us see. See here, variables are of different types. In that first one is scalar variable, second one is array variable and hash variable also we have. So variables types, 3 types of variables we have. Scalar variable, array variable, associative variable. So in parallel programming, variables are divided into 3 types: scalar variable, array variable, associative array variable or hash variable. So what a scalar variable can hold? What a scalar variable can hold? So variables, we have some rules if we want to create the variables. Variable name must start with letter and underscore. We should not have spaces. Then we have 3 types of variables. First one is scalar variable. Scalar variable will start with the dollar symbol and it can hold only one value. Scalar variable means variable which can hold only one value, and scalar variable is denoted with the dollar symbol. Dollar $A is a scalar variable. Dollar $B is also a scalar variable. Dollar sign is used for indicating scalar variables. So what is the next one? Array variable. So at the rate symbol is used to indicate the array variable. So see here, at the rate means all of the. So here we have Ravi, Raju, Ramu. All these are variables only. If Ravi, Raju, Ramu, all of them should be variable means we should use the at the rate symbol. At the rate fruits, banana, apple. Means we are talking about all the fruits. At the rate fruits is a variable. Which fruits we can have any type of fruits. So same way at the rate students. colleges. So we are using symbol for all of the value. Array variable is nothing but which can store the similar group values. Array can store similar kind of group of elements. Fruits can be an array, students can be an array. All the fruits we can bring into one array, one group. All the vegetables we can bring into one group, one array. Array is specially used for grouping the elements. Array is specially used for similar kind of group of elements. So here, second variable is array variable. It is indicated with the @ symbol. @ means all of the. So here we have an array with the names and we are using @ symbol. Same way we can use @ fruits, @ bananas, and we can use @ students also. So we can have a group of students. So @ student will be a array variable. So the third one is hash variable. Hash variable is indicated with percentile symbol. So a hash variable can hold any number of value pairs. Hash variable is hash variable. So what is the third type of variable? Hash variable. This hash variable can hold any pair of any key values. So see here, temperature of Guntur is 42, temperature of Vijayawada is 45, temperature of Ongole is 49. So the place names and their temperatures are in the single variable A. This percentile A is nothing but hash variable. Percentile A. Percentile A is nothing but hash variable. It can hold the temperature of 3 different places. So we are having Guntur, Vijayawada, Ongole. Names also we have. Their temperatures also we have. So percentile symbol is used for hash variable. @ symbol is used for array variable. Array means which can hold the similar group of elements. Percentile means any number of values you can give. So we are discussing about variables concept in the Perl programming language. In that we have some rules to create the variables. Generally in Perl programming, variables are divided into 3 types: scalar variable, array variable, hash variable. Scalar variable is denoted with $ symbol and it can hold only one single value. Array variable is denoted with @ symbol and it can have the similar kind of group elements. And finally hash variable. Hash variable is denoted with percentile symbol. It can have any number of values. So here if you see, Guntur with the temperature 42, Vijayawada with the temperature 45, Ongole with the temperature 49. All this can be given to a single variable and that variable is nothing but hash variable. It is represented with percentile symbol. So this is the story about variables in Perl language. So we have started Perl programming language, which is nothing but practical extraction and report language. Here we have different elements. So variable, constants, data types, operator, control structures, arrays and functions are the different elements of Perl programming which are similar to all other programming languages. So first one is a variable which can hold a value and it can be changed time to time. For creating variables we have some rules. Variables are divided into 3 types: scalar variable, array variable, hash variable. Array variable is denoted with @ symbol. Scalar variable is denoted with $ symbol. Hash variable is denoted with percentile symbol. So this is the story about variables. See, anybody may confuse but system will not confuse. Person who is returning this, who will return this, person who is reading this or person who is writing this, who will write this can confuse, but Perl interpreter will not confuse. See here, $A is a scalar variable, @A is a array variable, percentile A is hash variable. They are treated differently. See here, $A means $A equal to 10, only single value, scalar variable. $A equal to 10, 20, 30, array variable. $A equal to Guntur 40, hash variable or associative array variable. So hash variable is also called as associative array variable. So hash variable is also called as associative array. So Perl is a interpreted programming language. For the execution of Perl, we are taking the help of interpreter. Perl interpreter will not confuse between $a, $a and %a. People may confuse. So very clear. Perl is a interpreted programming language. So for the execution of Perl programming, we are taking the help of interpreter. This interpreter does not have confusion between $a, $a and %a. So the symbols $, and % are called as sigils in Perls. Sigils. So the symbol $, and % is called as sigils in Perl programming language. So Perl is a interpreted programming language. For the execution of Perl programming, we are using the interpreter. There is no confusion between $a, $a and %a for the Perl interpreter. These three symbols are called as sigils in Perl programming. This is about variables. So next, how can you run a Perl programming on Jamp server? So we are running this Perl program. We are running this Perl program also on a Jamp server. As I already told you, compatible Apache's MySQL PHP Perl. So what is the full form of Jamp? Compatible Apache MySQL PHP Perl. That is the full form of Jamp as usual. So we are again running this Perl programming on Jamp only. To execute the Perl programming also, we have two different ways. Command line execution, web based execution. Nothing but running the Perl programs on the browser or running the Perl process in command line execution. So we are executing the Perl programming also in Jamp server only. Jamp is nothing but which is compatible Tomcat, Apache Tomcat, MySQL, PHP and Perl. Obviously we have two different ways for executing this Perl programming. First one is command line execution, second one is web based execution. This web based execution is nothing but running the Perl programs on web browser. So running the Perl programs on web browser. So we have two different ways of running the Perl programs in Jamp server. First let us see what is a command line execution. Means how can you execute a Perl program in command line. So create a file on the Perl installed location in the C drive, in the Jamp folder, in the Perl folder, in the bin. You create a file here. So you want in the C drive, in the Jamp folder, in the Perl folder, in the bin, you want to create a file. In that file you should have the Perl code. So that file is welcome.pl. Since we are working with the Perl programming, extension will be .pl. If we are working with HTML, extension will be .html. If you are working with XML, extension will be .xml. Since you are working with Perl programming, extension will be .pl. So you want to create a file called as welcome.pl. In that file you should have the welcome to Perl statement. This file should be stored in C drive, Jamp folder, Perl folder, bin. Under bin you have to save this welcome.pl which have the message like welcome to Perl. Now you should open the command prompt and type cd jamp Perl bin. Open the command prompt. You should type cd jamp Perl bin. Then you can type Perl welcome PL to view the output. So what is our file name? Welcome.pl. So what pattern we have in that file? Welcome to Perl. Where you should store that file? C drive, Jamp folder, Perl folder, bin. Here you should store that file. After that you should open a command prompt. In the command prompt you should type cd jamp Perl bin. You should type this in the command prompt. After that you can type Perl welcome.pl to view the output of this print welcome to Perl. So this is how we will execute the Perl programs in command line execution. We have two types. We have two types of ways. We have two ways to execute our parallel programming. First way is command line execution. Here we don't need to start any Tomcat or Apache from the XAMPP control panel. For command line execution, we no need to start any Apache or any Tomcat in the XAMPP control panel. Simply what we should do, we should create a file welcome.pl. We should store that file in this location like C drive, XAMPP, parallel bin. In that file we should have written like print welcome to parallel. Now you should open the command prompt and you should type cd XAMPP parallel bin. After this you should type parallel and your file name to view the output. We are executing in command line execution, so we will not start any Apache, we will not start any Tomcat in XAMPP control panel. So we have two different ways of executing the parallel programming in XAMPP server. First one is command line execution. Second one is web-based execution. So let us see what is a web-based execution. So for web-based execution, what you should do? So first you should open C drive, XAMPP folder, Apache config and their httpd config file. Then you should search for script alias cig bin, and in the C drive in the XAMPP folder you will have cig bin. So remove hash in, you should remove hash symbol in script alias cig bin, and you should save that config file. You should save the conf file. So in web-based execution we will have lot of steps. So first what you should do, you should start Apache, you should start Tomcat and then open the folders and you should identify where your conf file is and you should remove the hash symbol in that. Then you should go to control panel and you should start Apache, Tomcat, everything. So then you should then you should create the file welcome.py. In that you should have the message like welcome to parallel. So you should type http localhost cig bin welcome pi on the address bar of web browser to view the output. So we have two ways to execute the parallel program. In that first one is command line execution. For that it is very simple. So second one is web-based execution. First you need to start the Apache and Tomcat, and then you need to open the C drive, XAMPP folders and you need to identify the config files. In that you will identify script alias and you should remove hash symbol there. After that you should create a file with the name welcome.py, and this file also should be with the like C drive, XAMPP folder, parallel bin. That should be like parallel.exe. In that you should have the message welcome to parallel. Now you should open the web browser. You should open the web browser and you should type http protocol localhost and you should give the address of this file also, cig bin welcome.py. Then you can view the output here. So let us see. We are running the parallel programming under XAMPP server. For that we have two ways: command line execution, web-based execution. In the command line execution, you will just create a file with the extension of PL. In that file you will have the code, and that file you should store in C drive, XAMPP folder, parallel folder, bin folder. Then you should open the command prompt and you should type cd XAMPP parallel bin. Then you will be into the environment of parallel. There you can type parallel and your file name welcome.py. So you are typing your file name here. File name will be different at different times. So whenever you want to see the output of particular file, that file name you should type after parallel. Then you can see the output. Here we are not using any Tomcat or any Apache here. Second way is executing in the web-based execution. Means execution on the web browser like Google web browser, Yahoo web browser, Bing web browser. So we are executing the parallel programs in web browser now. For that you need to create the file welcome.py. And you need to open the C drive, XAMPP folder, Apache folder and you need to find the config file. There you have to search for script aliases. There you should remove the hash symbol between script alias and then you should save the config file. Then you have to start the Apache Tomcat. Then you can view the output in the web browser by typing http localhost cig bin your file name. This file welcome.py you only created. Before your file name, you should have HTTP localhost CIG bin in the web browser. So these are the two different ways of executing the parallel programs on command line execution or on the web browser. So what we have seen today, what is the parallel programming language? Who invented it? Larry Wall invented it. So what are the elements we have? What do you mean by variable? What are the three types of variables? Then how we can execute a parallel program in Java server using command line execution or web-based execution. In command line execution, we are not taking the help of Apache or Tomcat. In web-based execution, you should remove the hash symbol between script aliases, and you are going to take the help of Apache and Tomcat, and you need to type the HTTP localhost CIG bin and your file name in web browser. So in the next class, we will discuss what are the constants. In the next class, we will discuss what are the constants, what are the data types, what are the functions we have in parallel programming. Thank you.